what are we doing today? Today, we're going to do what some of you asked for on Monday, and that is calculations. So we're going to be putting everything that we learned together now, and we're going to be doing some calculations with squares and cubes. Okay, so all emojis done right now. We're done for the day. We're going to get our lesson started. Pen and paper ready to go. Let's get going. Right. Okay, everybody. So you'll see throughout our lesson, I have that banner there for you guys to remind you about the boot camp. Make sure that you are registered for that. Again, WhatsApp or email. So when we're looking at calculations, the most important thing that we're wanting to look at, everybody, is bodmas. So bodmas, we should be able to go and have a look at bodmas from the beginning of the term, all right? Bodmas had to do with what? Brackets of, divide, multiply, add, and subtract. Okay. Brackets, what do brackets mean? Let's draw in some pictures here for ourselves so we understand what we're talking about. So when we're looking at brackets, if we're doing a sum and we see that there are brackets inside the sum, then we know that we have to stop, and the first thing we have to do is the brackets. Right. In this exponents section that we've been doing, or squares and cubes, okay, we've been seeing a lot of things where we're saying to the power of 2.
Please
Yes.
unmute yours. Thank you. Thank you.
No problem. Sure. All right. Mr. Hugo, do you know where I got muted? Is that, I don't know how, when I got muted, but I'm going to carry on.
Unmuted. I accidentally muted you.
Oh, shame. Okay. Sorry. I just wanted to see if I, all right. So we've been talking a lot of to the power of, to the power of. So when we have of there, guys, for that O, all right, that's what of means. We're looking at exponents. So this of, okay, this of actually means exponents. So when we see the O, we're looking for our exponents. Are there any questions where we have to do to the power of? Right. What does the D stand for in bodmas? The D stands for divide. Right. So if we see divide in our sum, okay, we know we've got to do divide next. Multiply. That's when we have our times. Add. We know that add means plus. And subtract is a very fancy way to say minus. Okay. So bodmas, brackets of, which means exponents, divide, multiply, which means times, add, which means plus, and subtract, which means minus. Very, very important. You always must remember to do bodmas when we're doing these questions. Very important elements. Okay. Let's have a look at some examples of what we're talking about now. So Hugo, it looks like we're having the same problem that I had the other day with this, but I'm going to try as best I can to carry on here, and we'll see if it moves. All right, so my first sum that I've got on my screen there for you is 5, okay, times 5, 2 to the power of 2 plus 3. All right, so if I'm following bodmas, everyone, if I'm making sure that I'm following bodmas and I'm going through my sums, okay, I need to look first for the B. So I'm looking for brackets. I look at my sum. Do I see any brackets? No. So there's no brackets in this sum. Okay, so I'm good. My next letter is O, of. So if I'm looking, I've got 5 times 2 to the power of 2 plus 3. So have I seen an of? Yes, I have. Okay, so for the moment, what I'm going to do is I'm going to leave this 5 where he is for now. I'm going to leave this time sign where he is for now. And what am I going to do? I'm going to do 2 to the power of 2. What does 2 to the power of 2 mean? It means 2 squared. What's another way to say that, guys? Another way to say that is 2 times 2. Okay, and we know that 2 squared is equal to 4. We know that one. We've been practicing it. We've done it now. This is the second week we're doing it. So we know 2 to the power of 2 equals 4 plus 3. All right. We don't forget our bodmas now. We're moving on, but we're not forgetting our bodmas. So we check. Do we have any brackets? No. Do we have any of? No. Do we have divide? No. Do we see multiply? Yes, we do. We see the multiply, hey? So we've got 5 times 4. 5 times 4, well done, Mashle. Thank you. People are awake here today. 5 times 4 gives me 20. Right? Whoopsie daisy. Oh, the sun is just not letting me work with you guys today. Let's see. Okay, we're gonna do it in a different color. See if that works. There we go. Okay, so 5 times 4 gives me 20 plus the 3. All right. Then I've got add or subtract. So 20 plus 3 is going to give me 23. Okay, we're going to do one more together, and then I'm going to let you try by yourselves, and I'm going to answer some questions. So again, bodmas tells me I must do the brackets first, right? So I'm seeing 5 to the power of 2 times 5 brackets 2 plus 3 to the power of 2. So I know that I must first do the brackets. So I'm going to leave this where he is, times 5. I need to do what's going on in the brackets. What's happening in the brackets? I've got 2 plus 3. What does 2 plus 3 give me? 2 plus 3 gives me 5. And I mustn't forget that that's still got a 2 on the top. All right, so we are using bodmas to complete this question. We've done the brackets now. What comes next? It's the O, the of. All right. So 5 to the power of 2. What does 5 to the power of 2 mean? It means 5 times 5. So 5 times 5 gives me 25. Times 5. We move to the other side now. In my bracket, I've got a 5. And on the top, I've got a 2. So in other words, this is also the same thing as saying 5 to the power of 2. And 5 to the power of 2, which is 5 times 5, gives me 25 again. Right? We've been practicing that one. Remember, we practiced 25 times 25. 25 times 25 gives me 625. What happens if I'm not sure and I don't know how to get that 25 times 25? I can use a soldier sum and I can calculate it that way. No problem with using a soldier sum. All right, I'm going to put these 2 on the screen for you. Okay, have a look at those ones for me. I'm going to answer 3 questions and we're going to go back. All right, so let's see the first person that's got their hand up here, Unati. How can I help you, Unati? Unati, you had your hand up?
Yes, ma'am. Hello.
Hi, how can I help?
Ma'am, by number 3, there is 36 plus 64, but we don't have the number to divide by them, ma'am.
Okay, so we haven't done number 3 yet. We're going to do that one together now. As soon as I'm finished answering 3 questions. So try the next one for me if you're not sure, and we'll move on. Right. I've got Nkosi, you're going to have to help me with your name. But Nkosi, I think you are unmuted.
She does not have a mic connected, so I will advise her to just connect her mic first and then put up her hand again.
Thank you so much, Mr. Hugo. Kolefo, how can I help you with your question? Kolofelo?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes. Kolofelo, what's your question? Okay, I am not hearing Colofelo either. Colofelo, maybe try a bit later. Okay, so we're going to do one more question, and that's Letu. Letu, what's your question? Yes, Letu,
Miss,
you are not. Yes.
yeah, Miss, I'm unsure. You see, Miss, number 4, Miss, it's
Okay,
so
we haven't done.
confusing.
Okay,
It's so
we're going to
confusing.
do. Oh, don't stress. We're going to do it together. It's not going to be confusing when we do it together. Okay, I promise. It's not going to be too bad. All right.
Yes,
Okay.
Miss.
All right, everybody. So those are our 3 questions. Okay, we are going to go ahead now and do these questions, and I will ask for your other questions a little bit later on. So let's have a look. All right. My first question I had there was the square roots. Okay, the square root, so the square root sign, there's my house with the square root sign on top of it. Okay, the square root of 36 plus 64. Okay, and then I've got on the outside of the square root sign, I've got plus 3 to the power of 3. All right, so everything that's underneath that square root house, okay, that's like saying to ourselves, if it's underneath the square root house, it's almost like it's in its own little bubbles, in its own little brackets. And what does bodmas tell us? We must do the brackets first. So if it's underneath that square root sign, or it's underneath the cube root sign, it means that there is actually a bracket there. We just haven't written it. So I'm going to have, keeping my square root sign where he is, because there's a bracket underneath there. 36 plus 64 is going to give me 100. How did I get 100? I would have gone and done a soldier sum to add that up, but 100. Plus, and I've got 3 to the power of 3. Okay, we've been practicing this one. We've been practicing the square root of 100. All right, so B is for brackets. We've done the brackets now. Remember, it was almost like it was underneath. All right, square root of 100 is going to give me 10. And while I'm here, I'm going to go do 3 to the power of 3. Right, so 3 to the power of 3, or 3 cubed, is the same thing as saying 27. All right, and so my final answer is going to give me 37. Okay, I hope that some of you got that. I hope that you managed with that question, and I hope that it's not as bad as what you thought it was. All right, when we use bodmas. So my next one, number 4. Number 4 has asked me for the square root of 16 plus the square root of 9. All right. So first of all, I need to think of bodmas. Bodmas tells me I must do the brackets first. Do I see any brackets in this question? No, I don't. Okay. Could I, if I wanted to, go put brackets in? Oh, well, kind of. If we go to that first question underneath here, if I really wanted to, I could go and I could put a bracket over here to tell myself I needed to do 36 plus 64 first. Okay, but for this next question, do I really need to have brackets? Not really, because I know what the square root of 16 is. We know that the square root of 16 is 4. Those are one of those ones that we've always done. We know that one off by heart. So square root of 16 gives me 4. Plus, what's the square root of 9? If I've got the square root of 9, the square root of 9 is going to give me 3. Remember, we practiced square roots on Monday. If you're not too sure, please go back and watch Monday's lesson. Now, I'm continuing to use my bodmas. I'm going to add these together. 4 plus 3 gives me 7. Right, I see a few hands raised. I'm going to shuffle this down a little bit and I'm going to answer some questions. All right, I'm answering 3 questions and you're going to do those 3 sums for me that are up on the board. Right, Amashle, what's your question? Amashle, can you unmute yourself, please, and can you ask your question? Okay, Amashle seems to be having a problem at the moment. So let's move down to Indalo. Indalo, ask your question for me, please.
Hi, ma'am.
Hi.
Can you please go back to number 4?
Number 4, sure, Indalo. I'm going to move it up a little bit, everybody. Okay, talk to me, Indalo. What's the problem?
Ma'am, I want to ask, how did you get your answer?
How did I get my answer? I broke it down. I said to myself, the first thing I need to do is get the square root of 16. Indalo, what times what gives me 16?
Ma'am?
What times what gives me 16? What's the square root of 16?
8
what?
times 2.
Okay, 8 times 2, that's true, yeah. Okay, but if I'm doing square roots, remember when you do square roots, you've got to have the same 2 numbers times each other. Okay, so what 2 numbers times by each other gives you 16? The number is? You ready?
4 times 4.
4 times 4, good, nice. So the square root of 16 is 4 plus. What's the square root of 9, Indalo? What gives me 9? What 2 numbers?
3 times 3.
3 times 3, good. So now I'm going to have 4 plus 3. And what's 4 plus 3?
7.
7. Does it make sense how I got my answer now?
Yes, ma'am.
Awesome,
you,
well
ma'am.
done. You're welcome. Okay, I am answering 2 more questions. So I've got Spashle.
Hi, ma'am.
Hi.
Ma'am, can you please go back to number 3?
Number 3, okay. Can I maybe put number 3 on the board here at the bottom, just so that we don't, so those people that are doing number 3. So number 3 was 36 plus 64 plus 3 to the power of 3, okay? Okay, talk to me.
Ma'am,
Yeah?
can you please repeat? I didn't hear you.
Okay, so here's number 3. I've written it down for you. Square root of 36 plus 64 plus 3 to the power of 3. Okay. All right, I think we have lost her. So I'm going to answer one more question, right? I see Dimple. Dimple, do you want to ask me a question?
Ma'am, I
Yes.
don't understand question number 5.
You don't understand question number 5. Okay, well, we're going to go through it together now together. Okay, so we're going to
Yeah,
do question number 5 together now, and then you're going to
Yes.
understand it when we do it together. Okay, and if you still don't understand, then you can ask me afterwards. All right. Okay, so I'm going to answer one more question then. Sianda? Sianda, ask your question for me. Sianda, you unmuted. Do you have a question?
Oh, no, it's fine, ma'am.
Okay, all right. So let's lower his hand. Right, Bushle, what's your question?
Ma'am, here
Yes.
by number 4.
Yeah.
At school, they taught us that when you write like the square root of 16, you have to write the square root and write the number that you got.
Okay, so if I had to write it, so explain to me how I would write it. So I would say, sorry, let's put my pen here. So instead of saying 4, what would you say? How would you write it?
Say 4 to the square root. Oh, square root of 4.
So you would say this, 4 to the power of 2, and you would
Mm.
keep your square root sign here, like this.
No, remove the 2 and yes, like that. Plus
Like you would, yeah. Okay,
square root
plus.
of 3.
Okay. So do you see though, if I leave the square root signs there, okay, if I leave the square root signs there, what's that saying? That's saying to me, I still need to find what the square root of 4 is, and I still need to find what the square root of 3 is. But haven't you already done that? When you say 4, what have you done? You've gone and you've found what the square root of 16 actually is. All right, so when you're doing this, the square root of 16 okay, is 4. And you can write it just as 4 without the square root sign. If you put the square root sign there, it means you want me to find the square root of 4 again. Does that make sense?
Yes,
And
ma'am.
if you put the square root sign back there over the 3, it means you want me to find the square roots again. Okay. So because
Yes,
you
ma'am.
already found the square root, you don't need to put the square root sign back. Okay.
Thank you, ma'am.
Are you all good? You're welcome. No problem.
Yes,
All
ma'am.
right. We are going to go back to doing these questions, and I will answer some more questions a bit later. So my next sum that I've got here is 10 to the power of 3. We did a lot of 10 to the power of 3s the other day. We practiced that one again and again and again. So we know that 10 to the power of 3 is 100. Ooh, 1,000. I nearly forgot that one. Okay, so 10 to the power of 3 is 1,000, right? Minus, what do we know about 9 to the power of 3? Well, if we're not sure, can we go do it slowly? We can go tell ourselves 9 times 9 gives me 81. And if I wanted to the power of 3, I still need to times that by another 9. So I need to say 9 times 9 times 9. So 9 to the power of 3 gives me 729. Right? If you're not sure about multiplication, go back and watch the Watobe videos from before. You'll learn how to do some multiplication in columns and different methods as well. So 1,000 minus 729 gives me 271. Okay, last sum together. Is this still? No, two more together, right? Let's have a look. Okay, bodmas tells me I must do the brackets first. So if I'm doing the brackets first, I look at my brackets, okay? Inside of my brackets, I've got 18 divided by the square root of 9 squared. Okay, so I'm inside my brackets. 18 divided by. Can I divide 18 by the square root of 9? I can't, hey? So what do I need to do first? I need to find out what is the square root of 9? What times 9? What times what gives me 9? So the answer for that one will be 3. But then I mustn't forget that I must put my brackets back there, and I've still got a number 2 on the outside. Good, guys. I'm seeing all the answers in the chat. Well done. So 18 divided by 3, if we know our times tables as well as I know you guys do, it's going to be 6 to the power of 2. And we know that 6 to the power of 2 means 6 times 6, which is 36. Okay. Last one together, and then I'm going to answer some questions. So for this next one, right? It's a fraction. So when we're doing a fraction, we're going to look at the numerator, and then we're going to go look at the denominator. So if I look at the numerator, my numerator, that's the number on the top. My number on the top says 26 minus the square root of 4. So I know that 26 is going to stay the same. But what's the square root of 4? The square root of 4 is 2. So remember, when you ask yourself, what is the square root of something? You're saying to yourself, what times what will give you 4? On the bottom of this, the denominator is going to stay as 6. All right, hope you all still with me. I'm going to go do my sum next because I'm running out of space here. Now I look at my numerator. What's on my top? I've got 26 minus 2. So 26 minus 2 is 24 over 6. Am I allowed to leave my fraction like that? You should all be shaking your head. I'm not allowed to leave a fraction like that, okay? Either I need to simplify my fraction, or I can say to myself, well, 24 over 6 is the same thing as saying 24 divided by 6. And 24 divided by 6 is going to give me 4. So my final answer for that sum is 4. All right. I am going to bring up another few questions for you guys, and I'm going to answer some questions for people in our chat. So I did see that somebody had asked me a question earlier in the chat as well. I'm just going to go back and find this person's name. I can't seem to find your name, so you're going to have to put your, oh, there we go. In Kateko, you need to put your hand up, and then I will be able to answer your question when you put your hand up. So just raise your hand for us, and we'll be able to answer you on there. Okay, Amashley, do you want to ask me your question? Amashley, would you like to ask me your question? Okay, I think maybe Amashley's speaker might not be working. Okay, she cannot talk. All right. Kalalelo, do you want to ask me your question?
Hi, ma'am.
Hi, what's your question?
Ma'am, I wanted to ask you, can you please go to number 7? I think it's number 7.
Okay, I'm just going to move it down a little bit. That one there.
No, oh, sorry, ma'am, it's number 6.
Number 6. Okay, I'm really sorry for those of you who were doing the question, but I'll be back now. Number 6. Okay, what's up?
Ma'am, on the brackets, why did you leave the number 2 there on 6?
Why did I leave the number 2 there? Because do you see that this says, if I read the sum out, it says brackets 18 divided by the square root of 9 to the power of 2. Okay, so that's what the sum says. Hey, do you agree with me?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. So bodmas tells me I must always do what's inside the brackets first. All right. So brackets first. All right. So in my bracket, what's happening? I've got 18 divided by, what is the square root of 9? It's 3. Okay, still doing inside my brackets. So first I must do inside my brackets. I leave my square root on the outside because that's still, I'm bringing it down from the previous line. 18
Yes, ma'am.
divided by 3 gives me 6, okay?
Yes.
And I'm
Yes, ma'am.
leaving my 2 there. It's still there. And now, is there anything left to do inside my brackets, Kalalelo?
No, ma'am.
No. So now, can I say 6 to the power of 2 will give me 36?
Oh, okay, ma'am. Now I understand.
Good, nice. Okay, so let's answer another 2 questions here. All right, Ganya, how can I help?
Hi, ma'am.
Hi.
Ma'am, can I ask, for example, at my school, they told me that, like, let's say we have 2 to the power of 3 plus 5 to the power of 3. They said if you look at the exponent, you have to, you do the, what's it called? You say 2 times 2 times 2, but you have to put it in brackets. So is it fine if I do that in the lesson?
Absolutely, that's perfect. So you would say this, 2 to the power of 3 is 2 times 2 times 2 plus 5 to the power of 3 is 5 times 5 times 5, like that.
Yes, ma'am.
Perfect. I have no problem with you doing that. I even like to do that sometimes, and you'll see for one of the sums, I'm going to do that as well.
Okay, thank you,
Okay,
ma'am.
so it's absolutely perfect. No problem. You're welcome. All right. So I am going to answer another question. So I've got Shakina. Shakina, do you want to ask us your question?
Hi, ma'am.
Hi.
Ma'am, I just wanted to ask, can you please go back to number 6?
Number 6, sure. That's the one I've just done there. Okay, number 6. What's up?
Yeah. So, after you have divided and all that, do you add the 2 only at the end?
Only at the end, you say 6 to the power of 2. Because if you go and do it here, you can do it here. You can say to yourself, 18 to the power of 2 divided by 3 to the power of 2. You could do it there, you could, but then you would need to know what's 18 times 18. Do you know what I'm saying? And that's quite a long one. So it's much easier to finish everything that's inside your brackets first. It makes your life a lot easier. Okay, but you can do it that way as well. All right. Okay, Shakina, I
Okay,
hope
thank
that
you so
answers
much,
your
ma'am.
question. You're welcome. Right. I'm going to ask so another question, guys. I'm really sorry. There are so many people in the class. I'm not sure if I'll get to all your questions, but I am going to try. Nandi, how can I help you? What's up?
Ma'am, may I please ask? Ma'am, do you hear me?
I can hear you. Ask your question. Go ahead.
Oh, yes, ma'am. Ma'am, on question 6, ma'am.
Yeah.
I think on question 6, I mean 7, ma'am. How did you simplify, ma'am?
How did I simplify? I said to myself, what's 24 over 6? So I can do it a little bit slower. I can go and I can say, okay, what goes into 24 and goes into 6?
Ma'am.
What's the smallest number you can think of? What goes into 24 and into 6? Let's start small. Start with 2. Can we do 2?
Yes, ma'am.
2 can go into 24. Hey, it goes in 12 times over. How many times does 2 go into 6?
Ma'am, 3 times.
3 times. Good. So now is a little bit easier here. Can we see? Can we do 12 divided by 3? What's 12 divided by 3?
Ma'am, okay, ma'am, let me count. Okay.
I can tell you, I promise you the answer is going to be 4, hey? Yeah? Okay.
Okay, ma'am. 4.
Okay. 4, good, because 12 goes, 3 goes into 12 4 times, and it goes into 3 1 time. So that's the same thing as saying 4.
Okay, ma'am. Thank you.
Okay, you're welcome. Right. I am taking one last question, guys, and then I am moving on. So, Colafelo, do you want to ask me your question? Colafelo, you're unmuted. Ask me your question.
Yes, ma'am, I wanted to ask you, I don't understand number 5.
You don't understand number 5.
Yes,
Okay, what
ma'am.
was wrong with number 5, Colafelo?
Ma'am, I don't understand how you got to minus 1,000 minus 729.
Okay, so Colafelo, what does 2 to the power of 3 mean? It means 10 times 10 times 10, hey? And so
10.
what's 10 times 10 times 10? It's 1,000.
Yes, ma'am.
Are you happy with that one? Do you understand how I got to 1,000?
Oh, yes, ma'am.
Okay, minus. What's 9 to the power of 3? How do I get 9 to the power of 3? I say 9 times 9 times 9.
9.
And that gives me 729.
9.
So when I say 1,000 minus 729, it'll give me 271.
271.
Okay. All
Yes, ma'am.
right. Awesome.
Thank
Okay,
you,
guys,
ma'am.
no problem. I'm going to move on to the next or finish these next 3 questions, and then I will answer some more of your questions a bit later on. Guys, please make sure that you are paying attention, okay? Make sure that you're taking down the sums, all right? Let's have a look at my next one. So I've got 2 to the power of 4 plus 1 to the power of 4. So I know that 2 to the power of 4 is the same thing as saying 2 times 2 times 2 times 2. Plus, if I've got 1 to the power of 4, it's the same thing as saying 1 times 1 times 1 times 1. Okay, so all I've done now is I've taken those numbers and I've broken them down for you a little bit more. That's all, right? So if I do 2 times 2 times 2 times 2, 2 times 2 is 4, times another 2 is 8, times another 2 is 16. So 2 to the power of 4 gives me 16. Plus 1 times 1 is 1, times 1 is 1, times another 1 is 1. So 16 plus 1 is going to give me 17. So there's a really nice example of how instead of saying 2 to the power of 4 and going and doing working somewhere else, you can do it underneath that way. That's fine to do it that way. If you want to do the working somewhere else and then you want to bring the answer there, that's also fine. Right. My next sum. In brackets, I've got 2 plus 1 to the power of 4. So remember, what does bodmas tell me? It tells me I must do the brackets first. Okay, so if I'm doing the brackets first, 2 plus 1 is 3. And remember we said we're going to keep the 4 on the outside. Now, what is 3 to the power of 4, everybody? 3 to the power of 4 is the same thing as saying 3 times 3 times 3 times 3. Okay, and when I go and I work that out, my answer is going to be 81. All right, number 10. Number 10 is a tricky one. So number 10 is a tricky one, and then what I'm going to do is I'm going to put our challenge on for the day, and Mr. Hugo is then going to chat to you for a little bit. So if I'm looking at number 10, bodmas tells me I must do my brackets first. So in my brackets, what's the first thing that I see? I see a square root sign. And remember, just now, I told you, anything that's underneath the square root sign, I need to pretend like it's in brackets as well. So underneath the square root sign, I've got 16 plus 9. 16 plus 9 is 25. Divided by, what's 5 to the power of 1? 5 to the power of 1 is 5. Times by 93. So I'm still doing my brackets because I need to do my bracket first. What do I know about the square root of 25? What's the square root of 25? What times what will give me 25? 5. Divided by 5 times by 93. Okay. Can you see if you do this in steps, step, it's not too bad. It seems so hard in the beginning, but when you do it in steps, it's actually really helpful. In my brackets, what's 5 divided by 5? 5 divided by 5 will give me 1 times by 93. 1 times 93 is going to give me 93. So my final answer there is 1 times 93, which is 93. Okay, I am going to put my challenge up for you guys for the day, just to give you a bit of brain break, and I'm going to answer some questions. Mr. Hugo wants to talk to you before you all go about the quiz. So please make sure that you are listening to Mr. Hugo. Okay, he's going to talk to you about the quiz, and in the meantime, here is your challenge for the day. Mr. Hugo, do you want to talk to them about the quiz?
Yes, everybody, I'm posting the link to the quiz in the chat right now. So please remember to click on the link, and you may leave the class and then do the test. Please look at the challenge as well, and don't forget to click on the link and do the test. Then we can do shout outs again next Monday.
Thank you so
Next
much,
class
Mr.
will
Hugo.
be Monday, everybody. Next class will be Monday.
Thank you, Mr. Hugo. Okay, I'm going to answer 3 questions, and then I'm going to answer 2 questions, and then I'm going to answer the challenge, and then we are going to say goodbye. So my first question, I want to speak to somebody that I haven't spoken to today. So let's go on Pilo. On Pilo, how can I help? You are unmuted.
Ma'am, for question number 10, is it fine if I did it another way, like for?
Absolutely. Did you get the same answer as me?
Yes, ma'am.
Then it's perfect. I'm perfectly happy with that. As long as you stuck to bodmas, okay, and you got the same answer as me, I'm happy.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, thanks, Ompile. Right, let's go Gift. Gift, do you want to answer my, what question do you want to ask me?
Teacher, is there a big difference between bodmas and PEMDAS?
No, it's the same thing. Those are the exact same things. They just called something different. Okay, so they're exactly the same thing, same orders. Am I right?
Yes, teacher.
Exactly
you.
the same thing. Thank you, Gift. Thank you for that question. Okay, guys, I will answer some more questions. I promise. I just want to do this little challenge. Ndalo, I see you. I see you. I promise. I'm coming to answer your question now. Let's finish this quickly. Okay, so let's have a look at the challenge for today. I've got our little game playing thing, times by the same thing, times by the same thing. So in other words, what times what gives me 216? Who can put it in the chat for me? What times what gives me 216? We've been practicing this one. Nice, nice, Ziwe. It's 6, hey? So 6 times 6 times 6 will give me 216, hey? Okay. So I've got a 6 here. All right, so what do we know about this game controller? The game controller is equal to 6. All right, my next one, I'm saying to myself, this little weird character divided by this Game Boy is equal to 6. Because we just went and worked out that that guy is a 6, hey? All right. I can't tell what those two are for the moment. So at the moment, that one's a little bit tough, okay? So can I move on to the bottom one? What times what will give me 54? So what two numbers, when I times them, will give me 54, but they're the same numbers that when I divide the one by the other, gives me 6. Who knows? Who knows? Okay, can you see it's a challenging one? It's a hard one today. All right, it's a hard one. Who's got some answers for me in the chat? Let's see. All right, I've got 12 divided by 2, okay? And when I do 12 times 2, oh, that's going to be hard, hey? Okay, so I know what. Let's see all our options. Let's go for our options. Okay, what two numbers give me 6? All right, what two numbers when I divide them by each other will give me 6? I know it's going to be 12 divided by 2. All right, I know it's going to be what? 24 divided by 3. Okay, what other numbers give me 6? All right, I know it's going to be what else? What else divided by 6? What else when I type will give me, it's going to be, oh, so sorry guys, this is 24 divided by 4 gives me 6. What am I saying? I'm losing my mind here. Okay, 24 divided by 4 will give me 6. What other numbers when I divide them by each other? 18 divided by 3. Okay, so we've got a nice little list there, hey? So if I have 12 divided by 2 here, when I say 12 times 2, does that give me 54? Nope. So I know that that one's not the right answer. Okay. Right. Let's look at my next one. 24 divided by 4, that gives me 6. But 24 times by 4, does that give me 54? Definitely not. So what's my last one? 18 divided by 3. When I say 18 times 3, what does 18 times 3 give me? Does 18 times 3 give me 54? Yes, it does. Ding, 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 ding. So my game controller was 6. My little calculator man thing over here, he was 3. And my little spaceship, he was 18. Okay, so that was our little challenge for today. I hope that made your minds work. All right, I hope that you all learned something today. I hope that you remember to do your steps and your bodmas. Right, if you have done the quiz, please make sure, like Mr. Hugo says, that you are logged in. If you've done the quiz, you can log off. There is no need to stay in the lesson, everybody. All right, I am now going to take some questions for the last few minutes. You do not have to be here. And then we are going to say goodbye. So if you are leaving now straight away, goodbye. Thank you so much. We will see you guys on Monday. Okay, let's go. Kuyantando, I see your hand is up. What's your question for us?
But how did you get for number 10? How did you get number 93?
How did I get 93? So if we go through my steps here,
Yes,
Kuyantando,
ma'am.
I left my brackets where they were. I left my square root sign. 16 plus 9 gave me 25. Hey? Divided by, so I put my divide sign. 5 to the power of 1 gives me 5. I close that off and I say times by 93. Then I open up my brackets again. What's the square root of 25, Kuyantando?
5.
5, good. 5, and I leave my divide and I say the 5, and I close my brackets, times 93. Right, 5 divided by 5 gives me 1 times 93. 1 times 93 is 93.
Thank you, ma'am.
You're welcome, no problem. All right, Ndalo, I'm going to answer your question because I know you were waiting for a long time. What's your question?
No, ma'am, I wanted to ask the same question.
Okay, does it make sense now when I went through it again, or do you want me to go through it again for you?
No, ma'am, it's fine.
You sure? Have you got it?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, all right, Ndalo, if you're still not sure, this will be on a video, okay? It'll be on the video to, either by the end of tonight or first thing tomorrow. This will be on Watobe and it'll be on YouTube.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay,
Thank
have a
you,
good
ma'am.
evening. No problem. All right. Boitumelo, do you want to ask me your question?
Yes, madam. Hi, madam.
Hi.
Hi, madam. I'm new in the group, so I don't understand number 3, and I'm in
Number
grade
3.
6. Yes,
You're in grade
madam.
6. Oh my goodness.
Yes.
Okay, let's go have a look at number 3, Boitumelo. So in number 3, what do we need to do first? In number 3, bodmas tells me I must do my brackets first. But if I look at the sum, Boitumelo, are there any brackets in the sum?
No, madam.
No, there's no brackets in the sum. So what do I need to do first now? I need to go work on what's underneath the square root sign. So I leave my square root sign where he is. 36 plus 64. What does 36 plus 64 give me if I do it in a soldier sum? It'll give me
100.
Okay, good, nice. It'll give us 100. Plus, so I'm going to bring my plus sign down. 3 to the power of 3. Okay, because I'm doing things slowly in steps. Then my next one, I say equals. What's the square root of 100? So how do I get to 100? What times what will give me 100?
10 times 10.
10, good. So the square root of 100 is 10 plus, if I look at 3 to the power of 3, what does that mean? It means 3 times 3 times 3. And 3 times 3 times 3 is 27.
Right.
So then I say 10 plus 27 will give me 37.
Please. Thanks,
Does that
madam.
make sense? You are welcome. I will see you next week when we do exponents.
Bye,
We're
madam.
not integers. Bye.
Bye.
Right. Okan Dide.
That's why we have to indicate which bit.
Okay, what's your question, my love? You're unmuted. Okanse? Okay, Akanse, you've got your hand up, you unmuted. I'm going to ask you once more. Do you have a question? All right. I think maybe she might be back a bit later. All right. Okay, my next person that I've got here is Ryu. Right, you're unmuted. What's up?
Hello, ma'am. So, ma'am,
Hi.
what confused me is when, so let's say 5 square or just 6. Let's say you have 5 and then you have 6, that small number on the top, right? How do you work out that sum? How do you get like the answer by, yeah, like
Okay, give it to me. So is it a fraction? Are you saying?
No, it's like 5. Like, can you see that, ma'am?
Is it like this? 5 to the power of 2, like that? Yes.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, what does that mean? That means 5 to the power of 2 means I want to see 5 times by 5. That's what 5 to the power of 2 actually means. It means I want to see 5 twice, okay?
Yes,
Okay.
ma'am.
So 5 times 5, what's it going to give me? It's going to give me 25.
5. So 5 to the power of 8 is 5 times 5 times 5 until you get to 5 8.
That's it.
Oh,
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, all the way there. Does that make sense? Okay, are you good?
And also one more question. Does the same logic to apply to every number? Like 9 to the
does
power of 3? Does the same example that showed me apply to every number, like 9 to the power of 3?
Absolutely.
Okay.
What does that mean? It means 9 times 9 times 9. Okay,
Yes, ma'am.
you good?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I'll see you next week.
See you next week, ma'am.
All right, Blessing, how can I help you? Blessing?
Number 5 lena iyangixaka lana because of angithi ithi so angithi
Blessing, how can
Hi,
I help you? What's your question? Hi.
Hi, ma'am. I don't know. I don't understand number 7. No, 6.
Number 6. Okay, let's go have a look at number 6 quickly. All right, so number 6. Okay, you talk to me. Where did I lose you? Where did you get lost?
I don't understand, like, from like the brackets and then from 9 and then the power of 2.
Okay, so brackets tell me I must do the brackets first, okay? So what's happening inside that bracket, Blessing? 18 divided by the square root of 9. Close brackets to the power of 2. So I'm going to leave to the power of 2 right to the end. Why? Because that's happening on the outside of my bracket. Okay. So I'm leaving him there for now. Can I do anything to 18? Nope. So I leave him there, divided by. What can I do to the square root of 9? Hey, what can I do? What can I do to the square root of 9? What is the square root of 9? How do you get that? What times what gives you 9, Blessing?
2 times, no.
So you've got to know these ones. Okay, these are the ones you've got to practice. So the square root of 9 will give you 3.
Yes.
3 times 3 gives you 9. Okay, so I've left my 18 divided by 3. And on the outside, what's still happening on the outside? I've got to square it. Right. What's 18 divided by 3?
6.
6. Nice. And on the outside, what have I still got to do, Blessing? What's still left to do? I've got to square it, hey?
Yes.
And what does square mean? It means 6 times 6. What's 6 times 6? 6 times 6 is 36.
Yes. Oh, okay.
Okay. Makes sense?
Yes, miss.
All right. Letu?
Sorry, Miss T, if I can just have a second for those
No
still
problem.
in the class. For those students still in the class, the link is currently faulty, but it will be up again later. So do save the link to the quiz and then just try again later, please.
Okay. All right. Okay. Awesome. I hope you all heard that. All right. Letu, how can I help you?
Yeah, miss. When do we have another lesson, miss?
Our next lesson will be on Monday, Letu.
On Saturday, Sunday, you don't have lessons, ma'am?
No, not this week. No lessons on Saturday and Sunday. Mondays and Wednesdays.
Oh, ma'am, how do you save the link?
How do you save the link? So if you click on the link that Mr. Hugo put in there, It will save inside of your it will save inside of your browser history. Okay. Mr. Hugo says they're working on it. It's going to take 1 minute to fix it, so it'll be fixed in a moment. Okay, there it is again for you guys. So
Yes,
Mr. Hugo
miss.
has put it there again for you guys.
Okay,
All right,
miss.
Letu, I will see you next week.
Bye.
All right, bye. Dimple?
Ma'am, you didn't mute me.
Oh, I'm so sorry. Can you mute yourself for me? Or you can just log out. All right, Dimple, how can I help you? Dimple, you unmuted? Yes.
Ma'am, I don't understand question number 7. How did you
You
get
don't
it?
understand? Okay.
How did you
Where did
get
I
my
get?
score?
How
did
did
you
I get 4? What
Yes.
goes into 24 and 6, Dimple? What can I divide 24 by and 6?
12?
Okay, 12. Cool. I'm happy to do 12. Can I divide 6 by 12? What's 6 divided by 12? Not gonna work, eh?
Yes,
Can
it's
we
not.
start smaller, Dimple? Can we do 2 maybe?
Yes.
Okay, so what's 24 divided by 2 gives me 12. What's 6 divided by 2? It gives me 3, hey?
Yes.
Okay, so there's my 12. There's my 3. What goes into 12 and goes into 3, Dimple? What can I divide 12 by and 3 by?
By 4?
Can I divide 3 by 4? Are you sure?
No.
How about by 3? By 3, hey? What's 12 divided by 3?
12 divided by 3 is 4.
Is 4. Good. And what's 3 divided by 3?
1.
1. And if I say 4 over 1, it's the same thing as saying 4 divided by 1. What's 4 divided by 1? It's
4.
4, hey? Does it make sense?
Yes, ma'am.
Awesome. Thank you, Dimple. Right, guys, I am so sorry. We have reached the end of our lesson. I am so sorry I didn't get to all your questions.